Jake's boot came down hard on the alien girl's tail, and her sharp gasp cut through the crowded spacebar. Like a plasma blade, she froze completely. Not the normal stumble and apologize freeze, but something deeper. Her delicate reptilian features went rigid, amber eyes wide with shock, and her tail began pulsing with bioluminescent patterns that painted the cantina floor in ethereal purple light. Jake didn't know it yet, but his life had just changed forever. "Oh God, I'm so sorry," Jake stammered, stepping back from where he'd been squeezing through the packed Nexus 7 cantina. 3 months into his first deep space assignment, and he was still stepping on things he shouldn't. "I didn't see her," but she wasn't moving. Around them, other members of her species had gone silent, their own tails beginning to emit that same otherworldly glow. The synthetic music seemed to fade as conversations died. "Miss, are you okay?" Jake reached out, but before he could touch her shoulder, a shadow fell across them both. The creature that emerged from the crowd was a nightmare made flesh. 8 feet of rippling muscle beneath dark green scales, with a tail thick as Jake's torso, thrashing in agitated red and orange bioluminescent pulses. Jake's survival instinct screamed at him to run. His legs refused to move. The giant rumbled, voice like grinding stone. "Touch my daughter's tail." Jake's mouth went dry. "Look, sir, it was an accident." A massive clawed hand clamped down on Jake's shoulder with bone-crushing force. "You touched her tail. Do you know what this means, human? That I need better spatial awareness?" The girl finally moved, her scales flushing deep crimson. "Father, please. He doesn't understand our ways." "Doesn't understand?" The father's tail lashed violently, sending a chair flying. He performed the bonding touch in front of witnesses. "The contract is sealed." "Contract?" Jake's voice cracked. "What contract?" The alien patriarch lifted Jake clean off the ground with one hand, bringing them face to face. His breath smelled like ozone and copper. "You're coming home with us, human. There are preparations to make." "Preparations for what?" Jake dangled helplessly, his feet kicking at empty air. "Your wedding," the girl said miserably, covering her face with her hands. "In our culture, when someone touches another's tail, it's how we propose marriage." The word wedding hit Jake like a physical blow. The cantina erupted, alien laughter, chittering, and what Jake assumed were congratulations, in languages he'd never heard, filled the air. Someone started playing wedding music on an instrument that looked like a crystalline accordion. "Wedding." Jake's brain short-circuited. "But I don't even know your name." "Zarathes of the Moonscale clan," she replied formally, though her scales were cycling through embarrassment colors. "And you are now my betrothed, according to ancient law." "This is insane," Jake protested, as the father began carrying him toward the exit, like a sack of grain. "It was an accident. I'm human. I don't even know how your species reproduces." "You'll learn," the father said grimly. "The ceremony is in 3 days. My mate will want to meet you first. Then there's the ritual of genetic compatibility, the dowry negotiation, and—" "Father," Zarathes interrupted, hurrying alongside them, as curious aliens followed in their wake. "Perhaps we should explain human customs to him first. This is unprecedented." Jake found himself being carried through the station's corridors, past startled travelers and amused vendors. "Look, I'm sure we can work this out. Maybe there's a cultural exchange program, a misunderstanding clause in your marriage laws." The father paused, considering. The Council of Elders would need to convene. Such a case has never occurred. A human accidentally initiating the bonding touch. "Accidentally?" Zarathes looked up at Jake with those impossibly large amber eyes. "You mean you didn't know what you were doing?" "I was trying not to fall over," Jake exclaimed. "Your tail was just there." For the first time since the incident began, Zarathes smiled, revealing rows of small, pearl-like teeth. "Oh," she said softly, her scales shifting to what Jake hoped were more positive colors. "Oh my." The father set Jake down, but kept a firm grip on his arm. "This complicates things, but the law is the law. You're still coming home with us." Jake looked between the massive alien warrior and his daughter, then at the crowd of curious onlookers. Somewhere behind them, The cantina's wedding march continued playing. Well, he said weakly, I guess I should call in sick to work. Despite everything, she found herself hoping he wouldn't call that sick day. Zarathasa's scales rippled with what might have been amusement. Don't worry, human Jake. If the council rules in your favor, you'll only be engaged for a few cycles while we sort this out. And if they don't, her father's grip tightened. Then welcome to the family, son. As they walked deeper into the station, toward whatever alien domestic chaos awaited him, Jake couldn't help but think that stepping on her tail might have been the best accident of his life, even if he didn't know it yet.